while we get going, we want to welcome you, everybody that's associated. We got a lot of folks from the VA. We got folks from IHS. We have people from BOP, which is great. Real quick disclaimer, you're not going to believe this, but this event is not endorsed by or put on by any federal agencies, provided to you, the audience, for informational purposes only. We are recording this so that we can distribute this afterwards, along with all the materials. And any participation, this is from GSA, is voluntary, and engagement by government personnel is not an indication or endorsement of or commitment to purchase from any vendor. We get that out of the way, everybody? We ever good? All right, fantastic. Objectives of this session, and that's what I love about this, Nikita. I'm learning as we go, because this was brand new to me. I didn't know that this was even a thing until Nikita brought this up. Helping agency realize revenue from expired medications. You can see the agenda on the right-hand side. We'll talk about reverse distribution, what that looks like, what it is. I'd like to get a good high-level overview of that myself. We'll talk about efficiencies, a little bit of pressure for efficiencies, right, folks, these days? And then get into how government facilities are doing these and some of the options that are available to you, including choosing the right reverse distributor vendors to be able to help you do it. We'll get through a Q&A. We'll probably keep this pretty loose. We have 24 folks here from the government we love the interaction, right, Nikita?
Oh, absolutely. Please interact. We want the questions. Don't
hold back. We got some really cool insight on some of the folks that are joining us today. We'll share that in just a minute. And why don't we get to know each other just a little bit? And you guys can tell me why you're here today, trying to understand reverse distribution. Maybe you manage reverse distribution for your location or your agency. Maybe you're tasked with lowering costs. I think everybody's interested in that with the new administration. How about meeting DOGE initiatives? Wow. A lot of feedback from folks on DOGE. We've been talking with a lot of folks here at GovBrief, or maybe your boss made you come. And have you ever been to a GovBrief session before? If you haven't, GovBrief is an education platform. We use this to help educate and be able to interact and grow and learn from each other, specifically on government central topics and how we can help agencies work to improve and meet just their requirements. We want to help you meet your mission. So give us a little dose about PharmaLink. We got Jim Schreiner. He's the federal sales director. We have Nikita Van Kirk. She's the government account manager. Tell us, Nikita, give us a little overview of what PharmaLink's all about.
So we are full spectrum reverse distributor, which means that we go all the way from the independent pharmacies you see on your street corner all the way up to the wholesalers and the manufacturers. We act as a reverse distributor for them. So some of the facilities currently utilizing the self-processing software are actually sending meds already back to PharmaLink because we are their endpoint for those medications. We are a current reverse distributor for the PPV that is contracted right now. We serve VAs, BOPs, IHSs, but we also go further into retail, wholesale, chain, and then 340B, which there is some 340B crossover with some of our IHS facilities we've experienced. One of the biggest pieces, we have a 100% compliance record, and that is with the DEA, that is with the EPA, we are 100% compliant. We actually like to maintain that. We want to maintain that, and we like to tell people about it. And we are a registered small business throughout the federal government.
Fantastic. And just so in case I missed it, what is PPV?
It's the pharmaceutical prime vendor. It's actually who you order your primary meds through. And with doing that, PharmaLink is nationwide. We have on-site representatives in, what is it now, 38 of the 50 states, and we service all 50 on-site as well.
All right, fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we asked folks coming in here, what would make this the best briefing ever? So I got a couple for you. You guys ready for this? Everybody ready? Here we go. Jennifer says the government appointed option was made available. Hey, we're going to do that? And let's see. Timothy says, is the national reverse distribution going to be nationalized within the VA? That's a great question. I don't know if that's on our pay grade. Is that our pay grade, guys?
You have the answer to that.
What is it?
No.
Oh, all right. There you go. There you go, Timothy. You can leave now. I'm just kidding. Don't. Regina, reverse distribution / hazardous waste. We'll talk a little bit about that, right?
Yep.
And Raymond says there were virtual pizza. This is the best answer I've ever had. They did best briefing ever if there were virtual pizza. So I got to figure that one out, Raymond. That's awesome. All right. Anya, we need ideas on ways to optimize workload. How about that? What a great one that is. All right, so if you have any of those that you want, there's a couple here. Is there something you'd like to address? I'm going to keep this open for another 10, 15 seconds. And then we also asked if you have anything that you would like, right? So we did this. Please address this, which is from Arneal. Process optimization, cost savings, and improved efficiency. Love that. That fits right in the Doge message we were just talking about, right, Nikita?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
And how about this from Topher? How does our already under-resourced, understaffed, underfunded agencies continue to meet our direct care mission? Love that. Love that. Keep pressing there, Topher. Love it. James, the best process of returning or disposing of AEC drug cash items we're told to remove, especially in context of DSCSA.
Love that question.
Like that one too. That's awesome. Monica says, time to resolution, how all return medications are tracked and accounted for from taking from institution to receiving CR. That's
Perfect.
another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, we got some good ones here. That is awesome. All right, we're going to end this poll. Let's see what else folks are asking right now. We'll pop this open in the details here. And we'll see. Couple more things. Let's make sure we address this. We did James. How do we handle reverse distribution, especially with DSCSA? Make sure we talk about that. Let's see. The time frame for resolution of credits. How inventory is tracked, credited versus non-credited, and what time frame, and how do you take custody of drug? Cool.
All good. All perfect questions for reverse distribution. So.
And Ronald has private versus federal vendors. All right. And we already answered Timothy's. Will reverse distribution be nationalized for the VA?
We will be answering that later in the chat. So
we'll do that too. All right, I love it. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. We will make sure you get what you need throughout the presentation. And real quick, I'm going to share the results for you guys so everybody can see it. 56% trying to understand reverse distribution. 50% manage those. 28% tasked with lowering costs. 6% Doge initiatives, and 6% my boss made me come. There you go. We knew there'd be some Weisenheimers in here. All right, we're going to get right back to the next poll, and we're just going to ask, what is your role in reverse distribution? And then we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of this here presentation. So let us know about that. I'm going to pull this up for you guys so that we're presenting properly here. And I'm going to bring yours up real quick. Are you guys ready for this? Boom. Is it working? All right. So we have folks that are administrative officers. Maybe you're chief of pharmacy procurement. Maybe you're an associate at the pharmacy. Maybe you're in logistics. Maybe you're a technician. Maybe you're just an innocent bystander along there. So we appreciate you letting us know. And we'll get into this. So, real high level, Nikita, I knew you were going to talk about reverse distribution, the concept of reverse distribution, for those of you that may be brand new to this and never heard of it before.
Awesome. So every pharmacy you ever walk into has medications that they dispense, and those medications expire. And so what do you do with them? You can trash them, you can send them back for credit. What PharmaLink does is we come alongside and we help you manage that credit recovery process. And we do that and get you the money back instead of just losing all of the funds that those meds would be if they were sent through the trash. So real high level.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Many would be surprised how what the oversight and what the what we have to do, what the the oversight by the government, different government agencies that
Mhm.
we go through to maintain that compliance and
Yep.
keep you compliant. That's really important here.
Awesome.
We'll get into that.
That is great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm learning as we go. I always learn things on GovBrief. We look at so many different things that the government is involved in, and I'm always interested in learning. So we're going to give another 5 seconds for everybody to. What is your role in distribution? 4, 3, all the wallflowers unite. Click. Let us know so we can hit what you need. 2, 1, and last minute stragglers unite. Here we go. All right, here's what we got. A lot of folks in pharmacy figured that, wouldn't you? And then I love it. All right, so let's get some of the details here. What does a reverse distribution do for us?
Well, this is a busy slide, but as I said, we're a very highly regulated, precise business. Gone are the days where you can take your meds and throw them out in the dumpster. It's illegal according to state, federal, local laws, et cetera. There's a lot more that you have to do. And essentially, what these companies do is we take expired medications. We don't physically take them. We process them at your location, meaning we come on site and we have a dedicated representative, and that representative will process with a mobile office, a scanner, a printer, a laptop, and they will process your medications. They will evaluate them, meaning we can tell you whether it is potentially creditable or not. And we submit it, and then what we do then is we box them up, we label them, we give you an inventory at the time that, displaying what we took out that you have printed in front of you. UPS comes and picks those up and they send them back to this facility in beautiful Largo, Florida, which is about 200,000 square feet in the floor below me. And what we do then is those come in and each individual box is opened. The products are counted. The returnable products are segregated and submitted for return authorization credit through the manufacturer. And at that point, if it is a potentially creditable item, we do the return authorization. That authorization goes to the company and comes back in the form of a credit. And what you would see is a credit on your McKesson account. And that process could take as little as 30 days. It usually takes longer for them to turn it around, 3 months, 4 months on average. And then you receive credit back for that medication. Now, if the medication is not returnable, and we can delineate that at the time of processing, we're one of the few, if the only companies that can do that, we can tell you if an item is not going to be creditable, meaning you either have the option of sending it back to us for proper and compliant destruction, or you can go through GEMS or your waste stream company and destroy it that way. So it's kind of an algorithm, and it splits off at that point when we are on site processing the medications. So that's kind of an overview.
Is that agency dependent, as whether how they manage it, or is there some governing thing for this?
It is dependent upon the NDC number of that particular pharmaceutical product.
And that NDC is run against the manufacturer policy, ideally in Red Book, and there's a couple other industry standards that we actually utilize to follow those manufacturer policies. And then if PharmaLink does dispose of products for the customer, they do get compliant witness disposal forms. They also get the EPA records if they need them for the hazardous waste disposal as well at their fingertips.
Yep. So we follow the product from the time it goes into a box in our facility and is scanned to the time that you either receive credit back through your McKesson Connect account or you receive a certificate of disposal for certain items.
Excellent. So how does it work with, like, you're paint this picture for us? So this is the simplistic approach, right? So you collect it, you process it, and then
recover the credits.
And
that's a picture of what the process looks like when medication comes in the door. They're expired products gathered from pharmacy shelves, processed on your behalf, and recovering with credits direct to the PPV. And the items are processed, and the net credit is recovered.
And I love this. So we're all under the gun now, a little bit differently than we've ever been, right? With Doge. Tell us what you think about how this fits in with what Doge is looking to accomplish.
Well, Doge is actively looking at the organization of processes, effective data management, and cost reduction. Medications, as we all know, are a large expense, and they're an obvious target. There are drugs now that are $100,000 and more each. There are drugs that are still inexpensive on the generic side, and I'll give you a real sense of those numbers further into the presentation. Okay. But it is not uncommon for us to have a small box of drugs could be worth $500,000.
Whoa. I love it.
And essentially, it's again, we face this in the private sector, but with the Doge initiatives, the question is, how can I do more with less? And you can't hold those expired drugs. Everybody knows, I think, what'll happen when the DEA walks in and you have medications that shouldn't be in the vault. So we've followed up with the PBM recently, and it has been reiterated that there will not be a national VA contract for reverse distribution, and that the chiefs have been advised to use local drug return processes through reverse distributors. That was emphasized at OIG, and it was emphasized again in a memo a couple of months ago. So there used to be one, there isn't now. So it's really up to each one of you at a VA, Bureau of Prison facility, or IHS facility to manage this process yourself. And we are here to make this easy for you.
One of the things that Jim and I really do specialize in is we try to stay at the local level, but we also go to the federal level. So we've been in contract with the national IHS coordinator, who also told us there was not going to be a national contract. It was going to be decided at the local level. We've been in contact with the PBM. Previously, that was Jennifer Martin, and then there was an interim director who we've been in contact with. And then we're waiting now for our meeting with the next PBM director to understand how they're looking to move forward on a national level. And then also with the Federal Bureau of Prisons, we're actually talking with the pharmacy operations manager and the pharmacy chief at the national level as well. So we're doing full spectrum from local all the way up the food chain to the higher ups.
Well, do you think it would change the way it's managed if it was done globally versus locally?
So the issue and the reason why the global one was changed was that the directives were not, and this came from the OIG, the directives were not filtered down appropriately through the many offices, right? So it starts at the high level, and then it's supposed to filter down through the VISNs and or your area pharmacy consultants and, Federal Bureau of Prisons. Depending on your budget, you also have to figure out whether or not it's going to be managed at the local level. So the national contracts were elections that they could elect to utilize the national contract, but the information disseminated wasn't complete enough for everyone to be able to follow what the policies were, which is why it was pulled to begin with.
Yeah.
It's a
so essentially, you essentially have three options. You could do nothing. Option one is the do nothing approach, which means you're going to have compliance issues and you're going to have no recovery and probably some problems. Number two, there's a self-processing software available out there, which has some compliance to it to where you're able to manage your non-controlled medications. However, a very heavy workload and recovery cost on your end with the facility because you have to do all the work yourself. And then the third one is a reverse distributor, which gives you, in the case of us, 100% compliance. And I knock on wood every time I say that. A good recovery, and I'll give you some idea of what those numbers can look like, and a streamlined process.
And any reverse distributor worth their salt is going to stay on top of any facility directives. So, we know the VA has what they canceled was the 1087, but now they have the 11.08 and a couple other directives. Any reverse distributor worth their salt is going to follow those to a T because they want to continue to work with you. And so they need to stay on top of that. And where the self-processing software, you have to stay on top of that. You have to manage how they're actually expecting that, and you have to do all the work. So it's a difference between hiring it out to somebody and then doing it yourself, or sending it through your GEMS and receiving no credit.
Got it.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right, let's find out how folks are doing it now. It may be self-processing. What is N3PR? What does that mean?
That's a self-processing company right now that many of the government facilities are actually utilizing.
Yeah,
Okay.
you pay upfront for it, and annually it's a software program which gives you a way to return non-controlled, non-cash medications.
And
to
typically
a reverse
non-partial as
distributor.
well.
Got it. And so then we have local RD. That stands for reverse distribution.
distributor.
Local reverse distributor. A wholesaler, which means sending
They
it
send
back.
it back through their wholesaler.
So send it back through the wholesaler, or maybe they're not. Maybe you don't know what it is yet. And then if you have any comments, let us know. We'll make sure we'll do our best to address those. While folks are answering that, let's talk about, because I heard a little bit about how some of the complexities of just making sure that you mentioned Red Book or something like that, Nikita.
Yep.
Right. So just having an understanding of all that. And what I find interesting is that we have pharmacists, their job is to get the stuff out to the right people, right? That's the idea, as opposed to dealing with the nuts and bolts of trying to recover what isn't being used.
I guess the ideal piece of information here is that manufacturers that are issuing you credits actually get, on the government piece, a rebate for being able to do so. And they also want you to continue to reorder their product. It's like anybody who offers a discount, right? They want to have you keep coming back. So if they give you money back for something you spent money on, it's not going to be 100% recovery of the cost you spent, but you can get an estimated credit back, and you could get 100, 150, sometimes only 20%. Manufacturer policies differ and vary dependent on the drug. And we can get into this later if you would like, but the ideal piece is that you want to take advantage of what they're offering you. Am I right, Jim?
Yeah, and you don't want to wait, because a lot of companies now have changed their policies to where something has to be 6 months. If it's more than 6 months after expiration date, it's no longer creditable. And it used to be a year for everybody. Some companies are a year, some people are 6 months. We could get into any of these nuances with you individually. There are a couple large companies, including Lilly, that if you send it back and it is not that date yet, you do not get credit for it. So we have a couple of people that work full time here that update those manufacturer policies weekly to make sure.
And another piece to that is how the medications are actually sent back. Sometimes, a lot of times what happens is you scan them and they come into a huge batch, and you send them back to the reverse distributor for the manufacturer, or internally, we just take them into our manufacturer side of our facility and process them, right? But some of the manufacturers, if it's sent in that large batch, they're not accepted. They have to be processed in their own segregated piece. And knowing that difference, knowing what will be returnable or not, is how we have expertise.
Yeah.
Is we stay on
That's
top
one
of
of the
that.
ways, for sure.
So Ronald's asking, do you help track RA and subsequent positive, negative credits? Also, can you tie RAs to the original purchase order? Great question, Ronald.
So we do track RAs. If you send it back through PharmaLink as a customer PharmaLink, not through the manufacturer portal, we do track those RAs, right? We actually do that internally for you. For the purchase order, that is through your wholesaler. So we will not go and have access to your purchase history. You would have to do that on your own, just due to the transparency and the legality of that.
All right, we're going to keep this open for 3, 2, 1. I think we have some good stuff here. I'm going to share this out, number 1, so you guys can see it. So that's how that's working. I'm going to review some of the comments here with you, if that's all right, Nikita and Jim.
Absolutely. Real quick, Ronald, if you wanted more information, I'm happy to shoot you an email after, and we can discuss that a little bit further if I didn't provide enough answer.
So James saying rapid returns through McKesson and Inmar/Inmar. Mix of self-processing and utilizing an RD service. Okay. And Ronald says costs us tens of thousands of dollars in OT. There we go.
Yep.
Alexi says too much self-management. And Kelly says, I'm not in pharmacy. I'm just trying to gain an education. Well, you are welcome here too, Kelly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's why we do these things. I love it. All right. So let's talk about the process. We'll help Kelly understand it a little bit, right? So let's do this.
So 50% of you who answered the poll question said you're actually currently doing the left column. And so you actually understand what you're going through.
Yeah. And you see on here, it's very, very labor intensive. And we literally took over for a hospital, a VA medical center that we took on a couple of years ago that had 6 people working full time doing this process. And we're able to free those folks up to do something else. The staff has to pick the medication, look at the expiration dates. They have to scan into the software, segregate, do records, multiple websites, scanning for returnables. You have to print the RAs. You have to ship it. You have to pay. You have to find boxes. You have to pack it. You have to pay for the postage. You have to wait for the credits, and then you have to go back and track them individually on several different portals. It's just a lot of people doing what we can do for you.
And I'll tell you what, I heard OT and I heard self-management. That's what I heard from Lexi and from Ronald. So I appreciate that. Love this interaction, don't you guys?
Yeah. And then there's some pieces behind that too. What happens if you send back a $10,000 bottle of medication and you don't get credit back for it? It's going to be on the staff to go through that whole process and try and find out why credit wasn't issued. We do that for people. We have a credit research team of 7 people now that all they do is harass drug companies for credits that should have, and that's an accurate word.
It is.
For credits that come back and don't come back, to make sure that you're getting back every cent that is returnable and they deem returnable at a time. And it's crazy. You can take, many of you have heard of a medication, just an example called Harvoni. It's for hepatitis C. It comes in a pill bottle of 100 pills. If the seal is broken on that bottle, it is not creditable. If the seal is intact and you send it back within 6 months, which is their return policy, you'll get $28,000 back for that medication. It's that precise at times. And it's a big deal, and it adds up quick. And that's why it's an obvious target for the bean counters.
Yep. And, stipulation. I love the harassing the pharmaceuticals. Thumbs up if you think that's a good idea to be able to have somebody help you harass the drug companies. Got at least one.
There's a thumbs up. Yep.
Here we go.
2.
Got a couple of them.
There we go.
Here we go. We like.
So essentially what you're getting when you're getting a good reverse distributor is you're getting somebody with a dedicated point of contact that branches out into an entire organization that is doing everything they can. Our biggest job here, and it's printed, it's all over the posters here, compliance is the big thing, integrity. We want to make sure that we keep you compliant. We want to make sure that when the feds come visit us, and they do, we get visits from the DEA, the state, EPA, Department of Transportation, that we are compliance, we are issue free, and you have a whole team behind you getting you the most back that you could get for those return medications.
Love it. Lexi Base, she's not opinionated at all. I refer to them as sharks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process comparisons here between self versus.
So this goes on to a little bit about what we were talking about.
Yeah.
The current self-processing, you're having to do all the work and follow through from the handling a bottle of expired pills until you think you've gotten credit back for it. And have you gotten enough credit back for it? You have to audit the credit memos you get back. Is it on my McKesson Connect account? Where is it? Where's the debit memo number? We do all that for you. You hand us a bin and say, here's our expired medications, and we do the rest and verify everything from a compliance and maximize credit and visibility perspective, to where at any point in the process, once we leave the facility, you are handed a printed inventory of what we leave. And we do vaults as well, which you have to do that in the vault, right? Here's your C2 inventory. Here's your 222 forms. But for every medication we take out of your facility, we give you a printed inventory. And from that point on, it comes back here. It is hand counted again and run through either the returnable portal to an RA, to an eventual return, to the destruction portal through a certified certificate of destruction, which is witnessed.
And I mean, currently a lot of the facilities, if they're nervous about having a third party processor actually in there handling the controls due to the complexity of the compliance, from what we've been told, multiple people have to be there to witness. Multiple people have to watch them either dump it into an RX destroyer bucket, or they actually process it through the incineration method through their GEMS program. PharmaLink does incinerate all of this. If you do utilize that, it is not something that we're just dumping in an RX destroyer. You get the witness disposal documents. So if you get the DEA in there, if you get anybody and you say, okay, where's this control medication? You know the exact quantity, you know exactly how it was disposed of, and you have the date of disposal as well. And you have a status live in the portal that'll actually tell you awaiting destruction, destroyed, awaiting RA, shipped, credit received, etc. You know full compliance and transparency throughout the process.
It's just highly visible. And the other piece of that, we do 2 C2 disposals a month here. And they send a truck to the incinerator. It's a special incinerator that's licensed to handle those. And we have to send 2 employees with that truck so they can witness it. It's not just one guy taking off with the semi with a bunch of morphine in the back. It's all compliant from the moment we put it into that box until it's returned back to you in some form or another, whether it's a certificate or a credit.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's find out. When was the last time you processed expired medications? Maybe it was this quarter. Maybe it's the last 6 months. Maybe it's within the last year. Maybe it's longer than a year. And maybe if you're not doing it, you don't have to fill this out. You are released from filling out the poll. If you're not,
Dave, while you're doing that, there was it's not in the slide deck. Somebody asked about DSCSA.
Yep.
DSCSA was a law that was passed several years ago, which has come into effect it's coming into effect now, which really it forces manufacturers and wholesalers and dispensers to be able to track every single individual package of medication to make sure that counterfeits aren't entering the marketplace. Now, as far as reverse distribution goes, once that drug is dispensed to a patient, the need for DSCSA oversight ends. In other words, once you go to the pharmacy, somebody hands you a bottle of medication, they have had to prove up to that point the pedigree of that drug. In other words, where was it made? What wholesaler did it come from? What manufacturer did it come from? How old is it? Once it's dispensed, that goes away and it becomes a dispensed item. So we do not have, although we do offer for customers on the front end a DSCSA solution to track those products, once they're dispensed, that law is not applicable.
And it's also disposed of, Jim. So when they come to reverse distribution, it's not entering the market again, right? A reverse distributor is an endpoint. So anytime that the drug is considered not to re-enter the market for sale, the DSCSA compliance ends.
We, like the 2 guys in the truck going to the incinerator, we can't go out front and sell the stuff we have downstairs. It has to be disposed of in a expedient, compliant, and legal matter every single time, because when we are audited by the feds of the state, they look at everything and they pull things, and they don't, they're like, when they come on site to one of your facilities, we don't get any notice. They show up. They're not usually smiling people. They bring their laptops and their books, and they expect 100% compliance. And so far, we have been able to do that for 25 years now.
So, James, this is great question right here. So, if you're talking about your
tell them what the
cash
question is.
medication-
Tell them what the question is. Just so
So, how is it recorded coming into the pharmacy from AHEC, all the hazardous drug cash, and then documented as going to you, the end receiver for DSCSA? So, here's the thing. You're going to get all of the paperwork if you're utilizing a DSCSA compliant vendor, right? So the manufacturers, I do believe most of them are up and running, Jim. It was some of the wholesalers that were lagging on there.
Wholesalers are now starting to distribute T2 electronic data to dispensers. That's where we're at in the process.
And so when that happens, you also have the shipment records to the individual facilities. So I know what we've done with the EPS in the VA section. So they get those and they receive them, and then they're going to actually send them to the individual facilities. Now, technically, from our understanding, they're still owned by EPS. They're just in the facility. But if you wanted to do that transfer of ownership paperwork, you can actually track that through a DSCSA portal. Now, if you have PharmaLink come or any reverse distributor come and actually handle your cash for you, or you send it through your GEMS program, you create a manual internal inventory that would end up documenting that disposal record at that point. Please let me know if that, James, if that answered your question.
That's awesome. Let's look at this real quick. Here's what we got. 67% doing it this quarter. They're doing it on a regular basis. 17% last 6 months. 17% is longer than a year. We already know that means something. And some of the comments here, Monica, my site's doing this ongoing, but she doesn't. Ronald, it's a daily, weekly animal to feed. I love it. Yeah. And Lexi, at least one step of the process a day at this point. So we're starting to see some of the what we're talking about being labor intensive, right? That's a great slide this puts on. Labor intensive for folks. And then from some of the advantages for being able to help folks out, right? Right, Jim?
Yep. And it's a labor intensive, precise, and highly regulated process. Mm-hmm. Those of you that are trying to do this yourself, God bless you. There's limited specialized expertise on site, unfamiliarity with the manufacturer policies. They're all different. No two companies are the same. They change regularly. There's a narrow scope of industry knowledge, and people get trained. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this. I've been here 3 years. Oh, I got a promotion, or I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. You got to train somebody else to do it. And it just starts over and over and over again. So it can be really complicated, and it's not an integrated process, meaning you're sending things to different places and trying to find different size boxes. And it's just very, very manual.
Yep.
And what, as stated already, we drive efficiency and innovation, meaning one person can do all of this for you because we have a highly integrated and expert team behind it.
All right, let's talk about this. We're going to unlock the potential. We're talking about the impact.
Yeah.
Some of these numbers are staggering, folks, and I'd love to hear from you guys what you know about the impact of this. Take us through this.
Yeah, can Jim, real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go back to the slide before.
Okay.
Question mark on it, if you don't mind.
Yep.
It's a simple concept. Anything you put in your garbage can, if you can get money back for it, would you do it? I mean, we have a recycle can at home and a regular can. We put things in the recycle can because we're good citizens. We'd probably pay a lot closer attention to that if that was a return. And there are a lot of people that make their living off of recyclables, at some point in the process. Mm-hmm. So just think about it that way. And if you are destroying items, essentially you are paying somebody to do that for you. And in many, many cases, and as said before, we can delineate that for you with a simple scan in your facility that medication is returnable, and we can also tell you what it's worth. And that's a big deal.
Let's talk about what it's worth.
Talk about some numbers. Reverse distribution isn't a cost. It's a recovery opportunity. And the OIG, this is dated. This is 2019. OIG estimated participation in the drug return program would yield approximately $52 million to the VA in fiscal year 2019. That's a long time ago. Drug prices, the average drug price has skyrocketed since then. And one thing to remember, 90% of drugs that are filled in the United States are generics. Okay, so only 10% are brands. 90% of the expenditure on drugs are brand name drugs. And those are the ones with the biosimilars, oncology drugs, AIDS drugs that have skyrocketed in price. And there are drugs, it's not uncommon to go to a specialty pharmacy, and we lead the market in specialty pharmacy returns, to have one box of medication, one unit, one dose that's worth over $100,000. It's not unusual.
Wow.
It's just not unusual. And we pack those real good. So just to give you an idea, you can look at some products here. Some are not that expensive, some are more expensive, but the average, and we've done a lot of them, the average VA medical center has returned over $1 million a year in value through a drug, through us, through our reverse distribution program, meaning you have gotten over $1 million back annually. And for an IHS account, that number
down at each
is
location?
over 100,000.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is this,
That's per facility. And the IHS average is well over $100,000 per year as well.
And the IHS seems like a staggering difference between the two, but we have some of our IHSs that are combo 340B and retail, so their returns are a little bit lower. And then you have the IHS medical centers that they'll be a lot closer to the VA returns.
Yeah, and it is not uncommon for us to have I'm not going to say anything more about this. We had a $14 million return from a government facility last year.
Yep.
That's the record. Beg your pardon? From one. From one facility, one event, one service. And it is not uncommon for us to do that. It's not uncommon. $1 million, we call it the $500,000 shoebox. It's not uncommon anymore because of the utilization of brands is still 90% of what is spent on drugs. You could literally have a shoebox worth $500,000, or you could have 50 cases of something that's worth, $10,000.
All right. We want to make sure we get everybody out here in about 10 minutes. So let's get them through how they can start, what it looks like, and how this works.
Yep. So evaluate your reverse distributors. There's differences. There are three very large reverse distributors that have a national presence in the United States. There are a lot of companies that operate locally out of essentially what might be a storage unit. We are one of only two reverse distributors in the United States that collects manufacturer returns, meaning the endpoint for that manufacturer, such as GSK, Merck, is Novo. The medication has to come back to us for final processing and destruction and accounting for. So evaluate who you use. Don't just say, I'm using one, because, hey, they might be able to save you some work, but they've got to keep you compliant, and you've got to be able to read and understand what their their reporting is and what you're getting back, and on the fee transparency as well. And the relationships that we have with those manufacturers are a big, big deal. Recommendations: conduct a facility assessment, develop your own criteria, try it with a pilot program. Let's say you're in charge of, 2, 3, 4 medical centers and a bunch of outpatient clinics. Could try it in an outpatient clinic, for example, or a full-scale deployment. Just, hey, let's come in and do this. There are a lot of different ways that we can do this.
And kind of how this does, and this goes back to Ron's question that he posted earlier in the Q&A. How you set up your contract or how you set up your return can vary drastically. You have BPAs, fixed price contracts, P cards, credit-based payments, fixed or variable cost methods, and we can get into those in the nitty gritty if you have more questions, but you dictate your terms. Don't let a reverse distributor dictate your terms. You decide if you need a monthly, quarterly, as needed. So you call them and say, hey, I've got enough, I need a return now, or your cash management or strict disposal services. Do you want to do the returnable only, where you go ahead and scan ahead of time of what is returnable or not? Do you want to do your controlled substances only and you want to try the self-processing for the other piece? You get to dictate those terms. Reverse distributors can also help with your recall management to be able to track and trace those as well and simplify that process. Multiple locations. If you're overarching, two medical centers and 5 CBOCs, or 2 medical centers and then 5 clinics, do you have a portal that you can see all of them when you log in at once if you're in supervisory role? Next one, please, Dave.
And just real quick to add on to that, we have some facilities where we go and we just do the vault, we do the controls. We have some where we go do everything. We have some where we go do the cash, and it varies. We have some that we do it all. And we have some monthly, we have some quarterly, we've done as needed. We will adapt to what you want us to do or need us to do.
Love it. Ronald does have a question real quick.
Yeah.
So your staff come on site?
Yes, sir.
We offer on-site or mail order services. The on-site people are actually trained by me, as well as Jim, and they have oversight for that. But our thing is that on-site helps streamline the process. The mail order piece does have a little bit of work on the staff. And with the volume that we often work with, on-site does work really well. But some of our IHS facilities, they're on the smaller side. They don't want to return a lot.
Yeah, a small clinic or something makes sense.
The mail
big
order
facility.
And that's part of the initial assessment is what will make sense for your facility.
Yep. And there's the easy button. You knew it was coming, right? But verify the CPARS record of who you're doing business with. I mean, it's like consumer reports. If you're going to buy a car, go look at the ratings. If you're going to buy something through Amazon, request references from other facilities. How'd they do? How have they been doing? Check and, with DEA compliance. One thing that we do offer, we offer a dedicated representative, meaning that person is your assigned representative and is your point of contact for everything you need. And then the tree of help and assistance and the company is behind them. And again, remember, this is a major strategic recovery opportunity, not an operational expense. This should not cost you a dime on the front end.
That's an impactful statement right there.
Yeah,
not cost them a dime.
Yeah, and that historical rated performance with the government section, with the CPARS is crucial. That's our report card. That's other people's report cards with how we've done and how we're doing with other places. So don't hesitate to ask.
Love it. All right, we're going to do this poll here. If you'd like some additional help, we're going to get you out of here in just a minute. We have final questions for everybody. I want to go back on some of the original comments as well. But let us know. Want some help with full reverse distribution, maybe returnable items only, controls
and Dave,
only?
While they're answering this, Jim has a really cool slide that's next that I think would be a great discussion point right now. So
Absolutely. We'll pop this in here.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, the Doge initiative kind of has supercharged this need to get more efficient. This is expertise we are offering at no cost to you, which will keep you compliant, reduce your labor costs, and return large credits for your facility to use for your patients or other areas of need. It's one of the most effective yet overlooked strategies for reducing pharmaceutical waste, recovering value, and ensuring that compliance. And it means, whether you're an agency, a hospital, a pharmacy, leveraging reverse distribution it's a smart decision. It's a responsible one because everybody on this phone pays taxes. Okay. Mm-hmm. These drugs are bought with tax dollars. And it is not, we have over the years, we've been doing VA services for 5 years now. And we have saved the government literally millions and millions of dollars. And we haven't really scratched the surface yet. And that's money it's got to be helping me somewhere on my taxes. And it's got to be helping you somewhere as well, because it's efficiency that's available at your request that you really don't have to pay for.
No doubt. I tell you what, every once in a while something comes along that just makes sense, especially with the timing, with some of the initiatives that we're seeing with Doge, to be able to help folks with their internal resources as well as the compliance components and the and getting money back. Who doesn't want to get money from their trash, right? Right, Jim?
It's a lot of money.
I'm telling you,
It's growing every month.
no doubt. I am popping in here the session docs. We're going to get you guys out of here in just a minute. Well, any last minute questions, you can stick around. If you'd like to unmute, we'll chat with you guys live if you would like to. But the session docs are there. It's just the presentation that you have, the PowerPoint presentation. You also get a recap email that'll have the recording, so you can watch it over and over and over for the entertainment value that it is, right, Nikita?
Yep.
And then you can schedule one-on-ones with the PharmaLink team. You pop that in there for them, right, Nikita? I saw that pop up there if you need to talk with them. And then procurement options. If you're not familiar with procurement options, because you're not in procurement, don't worry, because Nikita happens to know a thing or two about federal procurement.
We have actually helped write some initial documents to assist procurement in streamlining the process. So that is something that I actually do assist with, and Jim helps me assist with that, even though he's my boss. Mary had a great question right now. Most recalls have instructions on how to return the recalled product. Do you have the option to utilize reverse distribution for these? The answer is yes. Depending on the reverse distributor you do choose to use, they all have slightly different policies. But we've also had the instance where a medication's been recalled and it's already been put into a box to be able to send back, and the paperwork's not there. You can get more money back on a recall than you can through reverse distribution. Our system flags that, and actually we send that back through the proper recall policies, even if you don't include the recall paperwork with it. So it's just one of the added benefits we do have. But great question, Mary.
Does that make sense, Mary?
Oh, I love the heart.
Love the hearts. All right, we'll stick around for as long as you want. Our goal was to get you out of here by 11:55 so that you can
I'm loving the applause. Thank you guys.
Very nice. Thank you.
You got it. All right, hold on a second. We got Ronald with his hand raised. Open your mic, Ronald. We'll stick around for a minute. Anybody needs to go, thank you for joining us, and we love the feedback. Thumbs up if they did a decent job, ladies and gentlemen, and love it. There we go. Love it. I learned a lot of very good stuff. I think that was great. Ronald, what you got there, brother?
I was actually trying to give a hand clap.
Oh, you were you? Well, there you go. You get a real shout out. Were you the one that did the virtual pizza?
No.
That wasn't you. Who was that?
Mine's real or nothing.
I love it. Sorry, man. I'm recovering from the flu. So, but there you go. It was Raymond. I'm sorry, man. I got you confused. Well, thanks for joining us, man. Any final comments for everybody? For anybody that's out there? Anything else you need before we get you out of here?
Regina, thank you so much for attending. I'm sorry this doesn't apply to the DOT, but if you ever run across it, you know where to go for a resource then.
But you learn something every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. And I think we got the folks that, we had several folks that said, hey, just if I learned something new, it would be the best briefing ever. Julie said it. Some other folks said it as well in the original. We love that. So great job, Jim and Nikita. Really appreciate you joining us today. And if you need anything else from us, let us know.
Anybody who's on here, you will be receiving an email from me within probably 24 hours just to reach out initially and answer any questions that you do have. Please don't hesitate to reach out ahead. Awesome, Ron. Thanks you kept it simple. I appreciate that. But I will be reaching out personally, individually to each one of you that attended. So I thank you.
Super. Thanks for joining us. You guys have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Dave. Have a great day.
All right. See you guys.